Hey guys, I thought today it would be fun to go through everything I knitted in my first year as a knitter who makes clothing. I've been knitting ever since I was 15, but only, last summer I started making clothing, and it's been now a little bit over a year since I have made stuff, so I thought we would look at the things I made and talk a little bit about it. I feel very talkative today, so yeah, I'm going to show you everything I knitted and talk about the things. So I did start knitting clothing around April, around Easter of 2023, and the first thing I made is this sweater vest. This is the first thing I knitted. I really wanted to make a sweater vest because I wasn't confident enough yet to make a real shoulder sleeve construction, so I thought this would be a nice way to start. And this is, I think, a wool mix, and it has this really pretty glitter yarn parts in it. And yeah, this is what I started off with. You can see it's a little bit cropped, but also this is the only V-neck I ever knitted. I need to make another one at some point. I finished knitting this in Switzerland on my holiday, which was really nice. And this is just a nice layering piece, though I have to admit, I'm not wearing it this much. I wore it like twice, and I really have to change that because I love the look of sweater vests. I also have another one that I bought a while ago. I'm just not wearing them this much, which is kind of sad. So if you have outfit tips for sweater vests, let me know. Maybe I'm going to do a fall outfits video, like a little lookbook, because I love watching these. They're almost so much fun. I also love watching DIY content like this or knitting content. I just think it's so cozy, and I love watching it while doing stuff myself, so maybe if you want to I can make more of that too. Our second thing I knitted is this top. And I remember which tutorial this was. So this is a top I found on a German channel. It's called Creative Victoria, and she makes really pretty knitwear, and at her channel I found this top. I call it the lavender-haze-top because of the color, and I'm a Taylor Swift fan, and this is giving lavender haze. But yeah, it's basically knitted in this very wide rib, so it's very stretchy, and then it has this little V construction. The back is straight, and then I crocheted around the straps to make them thicker and have this cool wave effect. I love it, it's beautiful, but the problem with knitwear and tops is that when I'm ready to wear tops like this, knitwear is a little bit too warm, but I still wear it occasionally. I often pair it with a cardigan because that makes more sense to me. And the next thing I made, I was a little too confident in, because the first two things I made were like absolute bangers and they turned out perfect and exactly as I wanted them to, so I was like, I'm sure I can just wing it for my next project, and I couldn't. So the next thing I made is this top. It resembles a lesbian pride flag, and it's knitted out of cotton yarn. And cotton yarn is just not as stretchy, or in particular this cotton yarn is not as stretchy as, for example, this merino mix. Look how stretchy this is versus this. So it fits me, but I feel fucking claustrophobic in it, so I'm not wearing it. But I don't know, maybe you have ideas what to turn failed tops into, because it's just laying around in a cellar because I can't wear it because I'm claustrophobic in it. Okay, with this one I've also been winging it. I saw a beautiful top like this in a very similar color on Pinterest, and I was like, let's do this, and then I found out the pattern was like 15 euros, which, sorry, is a little bit too expensive. So what I did is, I looked at the top she had, and the main feature I liked about it was the stockinette knit and the V construction, which reminded me again of this top. So it was like, what if I just knit this again but wing it so it is straight I made it a little bit more oversized because it's not as stretchy when you knit stockinette versus when you knit ribs. And this is how it turned out. Again, I really like it, it's so pretty. I probably should be wearing this in fall. This is an excellent match to these pants. Now we're done with the first round of tops. It started to get colder, it started to head towards fall, so about a year ago at this time I decided I wanted to try and knit a sweater. So here are the first few sweaters I made a year ago in fall. So here's my first round of sweaters. I don't know if you can see them now on the bottom of the screen. So the first sweater I made is, I think, called the Sunday Brunch sweater. It's a free tutorial from Kutovakika, and I didn't want to invest in wool yet because, I mean, I had gotten kind of comfortable with knitting tops and all of that, but as I've said, I've never made sleeves, I never made a shoulder, so I was not ready to invest any money. But I had a lot of leftover yarn from another project that I kind of cancelled in the middle of it, so I decided to make this pullover in striped. And honestly, it turned out pretty shitty. First of all, it has very thick seams everywhere, which are a big bother. I don't know if you can see this properly, but this is the shoulder seam, and it's this very thick woolen mess, and it's like on your shoulder, so it feels very weird. Then I like the collar. This is one part I really like. And then here, the shoulder and the arm part, like this whole area is very skinny, and that makes it kind of uncomfortable. The sleeve too is a little bit too skinny, and the cuff is also a little bit tiny. So I have it, I keep it, but I don't wear it because this is a sensory nightmare. But it's kind of pretty still. But it's also just polyester, so it's not the nicest thing to wear. It's, as I've said, a sensory nightmare. Now you can see pretty well what I talked about earlier, and that is the problems this sweater has. Like here it's way too tight. The seam of the shoulder lays kind of weirdly. The cuff is a little bit too tight. The only thing I like is the fit here and the collar. And I've gotten very, very confident, and I went to another cheap yarn department in a Dollar Tree store, and I decided to make the Salty Day sweater from Kutovakika. And in retrospective, I really wish I just spent money on some real yarn. This pullover is beautiful, I love it. Let me show you. I mean, it's not perfect, it's my first ever braided motif, heavily textured yarn sweater. It could have been really, really beautiful if I just chose to work with proper yarn. Like, look at this sleeve detail. I still wear it. It's very warm because it's textured, it's DK weight yarn, it's very heavy and warm, but it's not the nicest pullover or thing I made because of the yarn. I love this sweater. Just imagine how gorgeous it would be if it was made in wool, and the drape would be a lot better, but we still wear it, we still love her. It's not her fault, she's made out of the wrong material. Then after this, Christmas hit, and for Christmas I got Kutovakika's book. I'm a big fan of her work. I think the things she designed are really beautiful, so yeah, I wanted to have her book for Christmas. Also, she's bringing out another book, which I hope I can get for the Christmas that's to come. So the first thing I started to make when I got the book, I started this on Christmas actually, is this beautiful sweater. I'm absolutely in love. I don't remember the name right now. So the book is called Knit This. I have the German version, but you can also get it in Finnish and in English. Here it is. It's called the Secret Crush sweater. This is how it looks in unicolor. But I found this gorgeous yarn. This is a cotton wool mix. And I'm like the luckiest girl because I found this in the dollar store. And isn't this absolutely gorgeous? Okay, I love this sweater. It's giving like Ice Queen with this color combo. But it has this beautiful lacework yoke up here. It's a raglan construction. And then it has the fluffiest, softest brioche knit sleeves, and this is also brioche knit. I love brioche knit, it's so pretty. I just learned it with this sweater, and then I also made 2 hats with brioche knit. That's how obsessed I got. But this is an absolute beautiful piece, and yeah, I hope to get a lot of wear out of this. I think it looks really pretty with a skirt, like a black or dark colored skirt and then this pullover, and it's so soft as well. I love this yarn. I got a lot more than this still left over, so I can make another project with it. And I already made 2 like triangular scarves that I crocheted out of this yarn. And the next one is also from the book Knit This. It's a Bubblegum sweater, and I'm wearing her right now. No wonder, should I take her off to show it better? Probably. Okay, so this pullover is the second thing. I made it immediately after this one. But for this I went to a proper yarn store, and ironically I bought this yarn at the yarn store that I started working in this month. So I discovered this shop about, I think, a year ago, when one of my best friends was in town and she was supposed to bring some wool because her grandma wanted to knit socks for Christmas, and we went to this yarn store, and I'd never been there previously, but I really loved it there, so I returned to buy this yarn. I think it's from Austermann, and it's this pink color, and here in the main sleeve I mixed it with some silk merino I still had at home. Is it called silk mohair? No. I mixed it with some silk mohair that I still had at home. And yeah, so that's how I got this beautiful fluffy color. I ran out, unfortunately, so I had to make the cuffs in just the main color. But I'm not too mad about it. I really like it. This is a sweater in its unworn form. So as you can see, it's like stockinette stitch, but then these little bubbles are in here. And I just crocheted these, which I think is really gorgeous. They look so fluffy and cute. And this whole sweater is really warm. I also love the detail of this little turn neckline. It's like spiraled. I tried a technique out where you knit it in during the knitting process, and that made it spiral, which is so cute. And it has balloon sleeves, and with this sweater I discovered my love for balloon sleeves. I really love it. It's so soft. It started to get warmer. I actually did start a pullover after this one, but I didn't finish it till like 2 or 3 weeks ago, so I want to put it in a video later. But let's get back to the knits that I did in springtime, because when I finished the Bubblegum sweater it was like late February, and then I knitted until early March on that new project, so like only for a week and a half, and then I was like, maybe let's make some more spring appropriate projects, so I started doing that instead. Okay, so here are my spring projects / early summer. Our first one is a freestyle project, but I saw Kate Bites doing these shrugs, and I'm a big fan of hers, and this really inspired me to make my own shrug. So basically what a shrug is a very cropped pullover that just covers like your arms and upper chest area, and then you can like wear a dress or something underneath. So I made this. It's very chunky yarn. And I had this little braid detail on my upper arm. Well, again, balloon sleeves. You see, it's like a really nice layering piece for fall and spring, because you can
further what's happening.
I'm just here and showing off my stuff. This is like the most awkward thing I ever filmed. I fucking
it's even more awkward. Oh, this rug is so pretty. Look at it. Look at how nice it looks. That's a pretty shrug. You wish you could buy it at a store, but you can't because you made it yourself.
Yeah, I did.
And you also designed it yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, I did design that. Around this time I also started to feel a little bit tired of knitting, let's say. So I was like in the crochet spirit and I made a couple things, smaller things, some bags, but also made clothing, and I ended up making this viral daisy lace top. You find millions of tutorials for this online, and I went with this beautiful red color. I love the flower lace, and it was really fun to make after a lot of knitting. I'm so proud of this. This is the next project I made, and it's the first cardigan I ever knitted. Wait, let me close the buttons so it looks a little bit better. I can talk while I close the buttons. So I got this beautiful color wool for my birthday. I still have some left over, so if you have any ideas, my idea is like to make a my idea was to make a matching t-shirt or something like this, but I don't know yet. Don't have a pattern or anything. I call this the Mer Cardigan. I don't know if any of you know Debussy's Symphony La Mer, but the colors reminded me of it. I started knitting this in spring and it carried me through summer. And I did finish it, in fact, 2 days before it got really hot, which I kind of was expecting to do. But I did this all on my own. I came up with a pattern. I did a very simple bag construction, a triangular one. Maybe you can see the triangle. And then I picked up stitches in front, down here. You can see this seam here, where I picked up the stitches, and then I went back and forth, and then I made the sleeves. And this is again 100% wool, it's superwash. It smells really nice, woolly, and it's a thinner cardigan. It's not like a thick, chunky cardigan. It's very delicate, thin, and very pretty. And again, a great layering piece. I took this to Amsterdam with me, and I walked along the ocean wearing this, and this was a really beautiful full circle moment for this knit. Yeah, and I've been wearing it a lot. Now that it's like getting a little bit colder, she's perfect. I love her. And I'm making a second cardigan now. Really excited for it. Like summer, and I made 2 crochet things in summer. As I've said, I've knitted a couple tops last year, and this year I wanted to try and crochet some tops. So the first one is this one. This is more like beach cover-up slash, yeah, like a little cover-up you can just throw over your outfit. And this is my first thing in the so-called shell stitch. I picked a very lacy version of this shell stitch. I did crochet a couple of samples and then went with this one, and maybe you can see it. I used the leftover wool from this sweater in this cover-up, and then I used some cotton that is very similar in color that I also had left over from another project that I crocheted. So yeah, this was kind of a help I need to use up some wool project, and very pleased with how it turned out. It's really cute. I wore it to Pride this year and I feel really pretty. And then another very exciting thing I crocheted is this top. Again, this is cotton yarn, and I didn't really knit with cotton yarn after my lesbian pride flag disaster top, but I like to crochet with it, and this is Something you might be familiar if you listen to Taylor Swift. This is the top she wears in the Lavender Haze music video, and I crocheted my version. It has an open back. And yeah, that was really cool. It was a lot of fun. Even though the tutorial I followed stopped in the middle, I didn't realize it when I picked it out. So I kind of had to improvise. Coming to the last two things, because I started picking up winter things again. So these are the two I finished since late August or September. I think I finished both of them in September actually, so yeah, I'm really excited because they're so fresh still. So we start off with the project I talked about earlier. I started this in April, I think, and then stopped because it was getting too warm, but this is my leftover yarn sweater, and since you've seen this video you might be recognizing a couple of the yarns from the projects I showed you. Like, for example, this is the yarn I used for the Shrek, and next to it is the Salty Day sweater yarn, and these red stripes are for my first ever sweater. And then I also used some yarns from my great grandma, like this purple I found in her old yarns. And yeah, this is just a really fun project, and honestly I was like mostly knitting it to get rid of some yarns and try out this pattern. I kind of drafted this myself, again with balloon sleeves. But yeah, I ended up really loving this. Like, the colors all play together so nicely. It's really oversized, but I like it. It wasn't supposed to be that oversized. I accidentally picked up a lot of stitches underneath the arm. I think I picked up 12 instead of 4. So yeah, that made it a little bit wider, and that made it kind of long to knit. But once I got to the sleeves, I knitted every sleeve in a day, so that was really good. Because I had set myself, or I've promised to myself, that I wouldn't start a new project until this sweater was done. But I had ordered some drops melody to make that are still in the future, slash that were in the future when I finished this. Because the first one I finished on Monday. That is this sweater. This is my first colorwork sweater, and it's my first Iceland sweater, and actually it was the first time ever doing colorwork. But here are the sleeves with colorwork. Also have the same pattern on my hem, and then up here I have this beautiful colorwork yoke. Yeah, and just finished this. I knitted this with Drops Lima, so I only ordered way too much of that grey color. I also still have a skein of the red. So I was thinking to make maybe a sweater vest, or... This is my latest knit. She's beautiful. I fucking love this. It's very warm. The only thing is that the gauge isn't perfect, so this is a little bit tighter than the rest. But this was expected because colorwork kind of messes up your tension. Future projects, I'm planning to make the Pride and Pearls cardigan from Kutovakika. I've already started it, but I'm not very far. Okay. Yeah, creating stuff is a beautiful process. I encourage everyone who wants to create stuff to do it. Learn to knit, learn to sew. There are classes out there you can take. Many local wool stores make tutorials. I know that the wool store I work in offers classes, so just have courage, try it out, have fun, and yeah, I hope you have a cozy day and I see you soon. Goodbye.